If habits can be formed automatically, they can also be engineered deliberately. But most people never learn this. They try to change behavior using motivation. They wait to feel inspired. They rely on bursts of discipline. And when motivation fades, as it always does, the old pattern returns. Not because they failed, but because they tried to fight automation without redesigning it. Habit engineering begins with one uncomfortable realization: you are already being engineered. Your environment shapes your behavior more than your intentions do. The layout of your room, the placement of your phone, the notifications you allow, the foods within reach, the people you spend time with. Each of these elements quietly nudges behavior. Every one of those elements acts as a cue generator. And cues are what activate habits. If a habit loop is cue behavior reward, then controlling cues is the most powerful lever you have. Consider a simple example. Someone wants to read more but finds themselves scrolling every evening. They blame discipline. But look closer. The phone sits beside the bed. Notifications are active. The room is dim. The book is across the room. The cue is proximity. The behavior follows. Now reverse it. The phone is placed in another room. Notifications are silenced. The book is placed directly on the pillow. No motivation was increased. The environment was redesigned. Behavior shifts because friction shifts. Habit engineering works because the brain chooses the path of least resistance. Increase friction for unwanted behaviors and reduce friction for desired ones. The brain will naturally drift toward the easier route. But there is a second layer: emotional pairing. You cannot remove a habit without replacing the reward it provided. The brain does not tolerate unresolved discomfort. If stress triggered scrolling, removing scrolling without addressing stress will create tension. The brain will search for another outlet. This is why substitution is more effective than suppression. Stress walk. Boredom skill practice. Anxiety structured planning. Loneliness intentional connection. The replacement behavior must still resolve the emotional cue. Otherwise the old habit retains power. Another principle of habit engineering is identity shaping. Instead of focusing on outcomes, I want to lose weight, focus on identity reinforcement. I am becoming someone who trains consistently. Each small action becomes a vote for that identity. The brain aligns behavior with repeated self-perception. A relatable scenario: someone who never considered themselves disciplined begins waking up 30 minutes earlier. After weeks of repetition, they begin to think differently about themselves. That shift in self-perception strengthens the behavior more than motivation ever could. Habit engineering is not about dramatic change. It is about designing systems that make the desired behavior inevitable. There is also behavioral control through exposure design. Limit exposure to triggers that activate unwanted loops. If certain content fuels outrage, reduce exposure. If certain environments trigger indulgence, restructure them. The brain cannot automate what it does not encounter consistently. Control inputs. Control outputs. But here is the critical warning: the same principles that allow you to engineer your habits can be used externally to influence you. Platforms are designed to maximize engagement by lowering friction and amplifying reward. Notifications are engineered cues. Infinite scroll reduces stopping points. Streaks create identity attachment. Social validation provides intermittent reinforcement, one of the most powerful conditioning schedules in behavioral psychology. You are not weak for responding. You are predictable. Understanding habit engineering restores leverage. You begin to ask, what cues surround me daily? What behaviors are easiest in my current environment? What rewards are reinforcing them? Then you adjust, not through force. Through design. Behavioral control does not mean rigidity. It means intentional architecture. You build your environment so that your future self does not have to rely on constant self-control. Because self-control is limited. Structure is sustainable. The mind will always seek efficiency. If you design your systems intentionally, efficiency works for you instead of against you. Habit engineering is the transition from reacting to your wiring to directing it. And once you understand that behavior follows design, you stop asking why change is hard. You start redesigning the system that made it hard.